Hello and a very warm welcome. Today we are going to understand the poem 314. Poem 314. Do you have any such poem in your textbook? Your answer will be no, right? You don't have any poem titled 314 in your textbook. But this is the real title of the poem. Right? You have a very wonderful poem in your book by Emily Dickinson. Can you guess the name? Can you guess the name of the poem? Yes, very good. The name of the poem is Hope is a Thing with Feathers. But the fact, a very interesting fact about this poem is that the poem actually did not have a title. Emily Dickinson, the most peculiar style of writing. Emily Dickinson had the most peculiar style of writing. She never gave any title to her poems. She just gave numbers. All right, and this particular poem that we are going to discuss today is numbered 314. But later on, for our own convenience, for the reader's convenience, reader started giving the using the first line of the poem as the title of the poem. Now just see what is the first line of the poem, of this particular poem. Hope is the thing with feathers, right? So the first line of this poem is considered as the title now, but in fact originally the poet did not give any title to this poem. She only had numbered the poem as 314. Okay, so Emily Dickinson is one of the greatest American poets. Okay, she had a very peculiar way of writing. First peculiarity is that she never gave titles. All right, and the use of imagery was very different, was very peculiar. And then if you see in the poem, the use of punctuation, okay, it's not the way we generally use punctuation marks. Okay, she did not give titles. Her way of using punctuation was different. The use of imagery in her poems were different. Okay, she was a very versatile writer, a very versatile poet. Okay, another most interesting fact about her is that out of the 1800 poems that she wrote in her lifetime, only 10 were published when she was alive. Okay, she wrote 1800 poems and only 10 poems were published when she was alive. Okay, rest all the other poems were published after her death by her sister. Okay, isn't it interesting? Right? Emily Dickinson was born on 10th December 1813. Okay, in Amherst, Massachusetts. Her parents were Edward Dickinson and Emily Norcross Dickinson. Yes, this poem is a very interesting, and it has an emotional touch. Okay, the poem touches us somewhere. It touches our emotions. Okay, so let us read the poem once. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I have heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in eternal extremity it asked a crumb of me. Okay, all of you please read the poem once very carefully. Read the poem once, please. Okay, here you see the poet has compared hope to a thing with feathers. Now what is a thing with feather? What has got feather? Do we have feathers? Do we have feathers? We don't have feathers, right? What has feathers? Birds, right? Birds have feathers, right? And feathers are strong like iron or steel. No, feathers are not strong like iron and steel. Rather, they are very light, they are very fragile, right? Even if feathers are very fragile, even if birds are small, or maybe it might vary in size or shape, right? But feathers are very fragile. It can take the bird high up in the sky. It can make the bird fly high up in the sky, although it is very fragile, very weak, very delicate. Feathers are very fragile and delicate, right? Although feathers are fragile and delicate, it can make the bird fly high above in the sky. Yes, right? So here the poet has compared the human emotion hope. Now, what do you mean by hope? Hope means to want something to happen or to come true. Oh, I hope I get first rank this time in the class. Oh, I hope I pass in mathematics this time. Right, hope is something that what is hope? Hope is something that we want to happen or to come true, right? Here, the poet has compared hope to a thing with feathers. Now, what is a thing with feathers? Birds, right? The poet says, hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. Okay? So what does she compares hope to? She compares hope to a bird that perches in the soul. What do you mean by perches? Perches means to settle down, to rest, to stay. Alright, so she says that hope is such a feeling that rests deep inside our soul. Okay, so however sad we might be, or however difficult situation might be, we always have a hope lighting somewhere in our hearts, in our soul. Right now, if we compare to the present scenario, the pandemic, right? So many people, have died. Okay, and so many people are affected. Even we are, we're not able to go anywhere. Our schools are closed. We have not met our friends from months, right? Life has, taken a different turn altogether, right? We feel sad at times. We don't feel like, going out. We are afraid to go out, right? Times are not similar like it was 5, 6 to 7 months ago. Yes, the time is very difficult. The situation is very alarming, right? But even when situation is so bad, we have a hope lighted in our heart somewhere that one day or the other, the situation will come under control and we will get our normal lives, we'll get our normal days back, right? Although the situation is very bad, we have a hope in our heart. And that hope, okay, that light, that hope that yes, something is going to happen, something good is going to happen, keeps us going. All right, the poet says that what is hope? She compares hope to a bird, all right, which fly high above in the sky with the help of its wings. Okay, however bad the situation might be, until and unless the bird is the bird has some injury in its feathers or wings, it will fly, right? So hope is a thing with feathers. Hope is like that bird, okay, which flies high up in the sky. All right, and hope perches in the soul. Okay, hope rests in our soul. Okay, and sings the tune without the words. The hope, it sits inside our heart and it sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. Okay, we never stop hoping, like we have just now discussed, right? that we never stop hoping. However bad the situation might be, we never stop hoping. Now the situation is very bad, we don't know when the vaccine is going to be we are going to get the vaccines, we don't know when we are going to get back our normal life, but still we are hoping that okay, tomorrow or day after tomorrow or might be after a month we will get our normal life back. Okay, the poet compares hope, the human emotion hope. The poet has written this poem to praise the human emotion, the human capacity to hope. Okay, hope is a thing with feathers that sits in our soul. It is always there, it always sings, it always inspires us, it always enable us to look forward. Okay, it always inspires us to march ahead however difficulties we might face in our life, right? It sings the tune without the words. Hope sits in our hearts and keeps on singing without words. It is there. We might be facing difficulties in life, but somewhere in our heart, hope, the feeling of hope that okay, everything will be fine, and we get inspired to march ahead, to go ahead in our life. Okay, and never stops at all. Hope never stops singing. Okay, hope always resides, settles in our hearts and inspires us, helps us to overcome all the difficulties in our lives. Okay, here we have Emily Dickinson. You can see she compares, okay, the emotion, human emotion hope, to that of a wonderful bird, okay, which sits inside our soul and sings day in and day out to inspire us, okay, to lead us forward, to help us march forward in our life, even when we face difficulties or even when the situation is very tough. Let us understand the second stanza. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. Okay, in the first stanza we learned that the bird sings continuously, it never stops. Okay, so hope is the bird, and hope always sings inside our heart. It inspires us, it motivates us to overcome all difficulties, all difficult situations in our life, right? In the second stanza gives a beautiful explanation, okay, about the bird. Now what is the bird? Bird is that the bird that flies, or that the literal bird? No, here bird refers to hope, the strongest human emotion, right? And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. And sweetest in the gale is heard. The bird sings the most sweetly in the gale. Now what do you mean by gale? Gale means strong winds, storm. Okay, now here gale, strong wind or storm, is compared to the problems that we face in our life, right? Our life is not a bed of roses. It's not the same every day. We are not happy every day, right? We might face difficulties in our life, major problems in our lives, right? So here these difficulties, problems in our lives are compared to the gale, a strong wind, a storm. All right, and it is during the most difficult situations in our life, most problematic situations in our life, that the bird hope sings the most sweetly. Okay, so whenever we are sad, whenever we are tense, when situation is not good at all, when we are in great problem, hope is the thing that keeps us alive. Hope is the thing that motivates us to overcome all the situations in our life. It gives us the wing to fly away, to overcome, to defeat all the problems and difficult situations in our lives. And sore must be the storm. Now sore means very strong, very painful. Okay, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird. Now what do you mean by abash? Abash means to destroy. Okay, sometimes in our life, okay, we really face such situations which, sometimes crumbles the hope in our heart, right? Sometimes we might face, or maybe we have faced in our life, situations which are so dangerous, situations which are so problematic, that the hope that keeps us going, sometimes, okay, it flickers, right? Here the poet says the problems in our life, and sore must be the storm. The storm has to be very painful. The storm has to be very strong to destroy this little bird. Okay, it has. The poet says that only in very, very extreme conditions, sometimes we might lose hope. We might lose hope. But that is also not very sure. Okay, sometimes in very difficult situation, we might lose hope. All right, but that doesn't generally happen, right? Even in the most difficult situation, the most problematic situation, hope resides in our heart. It sings the song without tunes, it sings the song without words, okay, and it motivates us, inspires us to go on and overcome all our problems. That, and sure must be the storm that could have bashed the little bird that kept so many warm. This little bird hope, this little hope has kept many of us alive, okay, many of us warm, okay, many of us happy and satisfied, even when situations are not good, situations are adverse, we face difficulties, we face problems in our lives. I have heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Okay, the poet says, I have heard it in the chillest land. Chillest means the coldest places, coldest, okay, and on the strangest sea. Strangest means very unknown, and I've never been to that kind of place. All right, the poet says, I have heard in the chillest land. Now here, chillest, cold, cold, or cold is often compared to something very negative in English literature, right? So here the poet says, even in the most negative situations in my life, even in the most dangerous, most breathtaking, most difficult situation in my life, and even when and on the strangest sea, when I face such difficulties which is very difficult to overcome, very unknown, unplanned problems, unknown problems, right? Whenever I face unknown problems, whenever I face negativity, extreme negativity, I have always heard this bird, okay, even wherever I go, whatever might happen in my life, problems, difficulties, sickness, or maybe any kind of problem, I have always heard this bird sing, this hope, this feeling of hopefulness, feeling of positivity, the feeling that inspires me is always there. Yet in extremity, okay, this hope, this bird is always with me. It sings to me, it gives me hope, it inspires me, it motivates me. But even in extreme conditions, it has never asked a crumb of me. Crumb means a piece of bread, or maybe chapati, or maybe food, okay? So this feeling, this emotion, hope, has never asked anything from me. It has only given me. The poet says, hope has never asked anything from me, not even food, not even water, nothing, not even a crumb. It has not even asked a crumb of anything from me. It has only given me. What has the bird given me? What has the feeling of hopefulness given me? The energy to march forward in life, the motivation, the inspiration to do good, right? However difficult or disastrous the situation might be in my life, okay, I've always heard this hope, okay, singing inside me, motivating me, inspiring me, and allowing me, giving me the courage to march ahead in my life, to overcome all difficult situation in my life. I hope this lesson is this poem is is easy for you now, right? I hope you have understood the poem. If you have any problem, please do let me know. Comment in the comment section, okay? You can share your thoughts. You can also share your interpretation of the poem. Thank you and have a nice day.